this live?
Now. Okay, that should be it, huh?
Should be.
Yeah, my 5.
Recession.
Yeah.
Adjust.
So I'm trying to work on that.
He's got about a 10-second delay.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's good.
You go, sir? Sir? Mr. Mayor! I know, I didn't see you do bring 5 records. I told him I said,
Okay, it's 5 o'clock if you want to get you cranked up. We will get started with a little prayer, Morgan Ashby, and then do the pledge, Alderman Court, please.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day, Lord. We thank you for the beautiful weather. Lord, we just ask that you would be with us tonight during our meeting, Lord, that we would make decisions, Lord, that would reflect you. We love you and we thank you for your many blessings. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Awesome, thank you. Awesome. All right. So, if you all don't mind, if we could do a favor to some of our citizens and take up zoning and annexation first. Alderman Reggie, if you don't mind, sir, I'm ready to go for that. They have another engagement that they'd like to make this evening, if possible.
Do I need to make any amendments to the agenda, or?
Probably another discussion item. You talk with Ryan?
Yes.
You want to put another discussion item on there?
We put that as a discussion, but I'll have to make it.
Because it still has to go to planning and zoning, doesn't it?
Yes.
So, like I told him, I said, I think it's good to,
I don't think this is an action item, we have to vote on, I could just call them up for
we do that,
conversation.
yeah.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start with zoning annexation. I have everybody present. We'll start with the report with Mr. Tim Mayer, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have nothing beyond updates in my engineering.
Excellent. I have no action items. And then for discussion items, to discuss the application for zoning variance for broader occupants, lot 5B per lot Rice Capital Parkway, zoning classification C3.
Put that in form of motion.
Who has,
Discussion.
it's, yeah. Okay, who has the information on that? Okay, Doug, is that? Yeah. That is not. Did this go to, Mike, you wanna come up? Did this go to zoning and planning, commission?
Yes, it did. Yeah. It did.
Okay. I don't think we've got anything from them yet, so probably.
What
Just
exactly,
trying to unplug it and plug it back.
I don't have any emails for either one of those.
what is about to be brought up?
Okay, go ahead, Mike, and,
Oh, okay.
explain what, turn on him.
Can you hear me now? Perfect. All right, guys, Mike Doty here, Platinum Realty. I'm representing Dr. Robert Erker. He's buying a tract of property from Mr. Bratton on Rice Capital Parkway, known as Lot 5B, which adjoins his group's Lot 5. So what we're seeking a conditional use for here is to allow him to have more than our city ordinances allow amount of doctors, since his medical group currently has more doctors than what's allowed in that zone. So what we're doing is, it's within the uses that are permitted. It's really just so that we dot all of our i's and cross all of our t's, and that we can do exactly what we need to do here, just like we're able to next door. 2 weeks ago, we went through planning and zoning. It was a unanimous decision, as was the precedent set before us on the last track. So I'm here tonight to answer any questions you might have, assuming that y'all have that information.
Mike, can you, this don't work either. Can you just go ahead and explain the ordinance to us, how it is now and what he's seeking? Just so I know, just for clarification for myself.
Yeah, so I wish Michael Landry was here. I don't see him, but the ordinance is either 2 or 3. I believe it's 2.
Per building?
It's 3
Per building?
per track.
Okay,
So what we're looking to do is to be able to have more than 3.
okay.
All right.
I got a question. I thought we had brought that up a while back.
Yes, sir, that was for a different, he buying another piece to do the same thing on the other piece.
Yeah, but wouldn't that one trump all?
No, that was a conditional use for that specific piece, that specific lot. No.
My thought discussion was that we would allow future,
So we didn't change the ordinance then, it was just conditional.
Correct.
Okay.
That was for that specific location.
And I have a question. How many tracts of land is it? How many tracts, how much land, acreage?
Don't have the plat in front of me. I thought it would be in y'all's packets tonight. It's a little over 1.5 acres.
Unfortunately, we don't have the information from the planning and zoning commission. I don't know why we didn't get it yet.
So,
But
if you get the information this week, could you just put it on for the council meeting
Yes.
for next week?
we
Since we talked about it.
we'll definitely have it on the agenda for council meeting next week, and we will even send the information out. Once we get it, we'll send it out to the council this week, so they have time to look at it, ask questions throughout the week if they me call Mike Doty. But I think we can do it that way and get it taken care of next week's meeting. It wouldn't be official till next week's meeting anyway, so that'll be great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and call up Ryan for his also.
Ryan, if you could turn the microphone on over there.
Yeah, I'm looking to buy a building, 667 Standard Mill Road,
Who are you?
Ryan Foreman. And it was rezoned as residential. It was a commercial building at one time, but it rezoned, I think in 2022 as residential. And
Right. Get you a little bit closer to the mic.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'll tell y'all, just to give y'all an idea of where this is at. This is on Standard Mill, this is the old Dupuy property, adjacent to the trailer park, on Standard Mill Road.
Okay.
It's,
By Green?
well, past Green, yes.
Used to be a
Just
church,
before
right?
the, just before East Church. There was a church there, yes, yes. And this property includes that building and all the property all the way back to the drain, which is an empty field at this point.
it's lots 1 through 16. It's roughly about 2 acres.
And you said you haven't had a chance to go to planning commission yet?
I did. I submitted an application for variance application for conditional use. And they said they asked me to come back and present it to the council.
Okay, Did they vote on it or no?
No.
Didn't vote on it?
Okay.
We're gonna put that on
Rest.
We can,
You ain't got that one.
we can put that on the council meeting next week also. Just to kind of, because I spoke with Ryan already about it, and I told him it would be a good idea for him to come and explain to the council what he's trying to do, because he would want to put it back to a commercial use. Obviously, his plans are to clean up the property. The grass is usually very tall and overgrown there. The building needs some work and cleaning up. And the neighborhood obviously needs some cleaning up also. And so he's well aware of where it's located. He has plans to do some storage buildings of sorts, I think, for maybe some motor homes and boats and things of that sort at some point. And obviously, that's not gonna be next week that he would have it all built and done, but that's his plans going forward with it.
So would the property there, and the structures that are there now be removed and the storage units, or you just
No.
repurpose?
I have an air conditioning business up in one, using that.
So you'll also, okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Have you spoken to the neighbors about it yet?
It's kind of been, other people own across the street, but it's pretty much.
Yeah,
all
but you got
off.
300 feet contingency on that.
step on one side is the trailer park that's owned by Wayne
Yeah, I
David.
know what that.
That is in extremely deplorable condition. There's multiple trailers
Yeah, I
on
know
lots there. If he were to be denied by any of the neighbors around there with the condition of the properties that are around there, it would be very unfortunate. He's trying to clean his property up. He wants to purchase it and clean it up.
I'm all for it. I mean, you have to know that you need to get, all touching property owners, budget property owners.
Well, I think there's only one property owner, everybody else are
He's
renters.
not,
If they're occupied,
Yeah, there's a few others that,
most of them are not.
like
Yeah,
two of them
on the-
one.
On the east side,
There's only like two owners on the east side,
Yeah.
and Wayne owns the rest.
Well, I'm just giving you a heads up with it, so that way you won't be in for no surprises.
he's well aware of the neighborhood, and it needs some attention, some serious attention.
I agree.
I think this would be a positive to clean up 2 of the acres anyway.
All right.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan.
Anything come before zoning and annexation, I will recess.
Thank you, sir. Let's see, Public Works, Alderman Dore, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I will now open Public Works. I will now open Public Works for his presence. First, we will hear from Public Works Director Albert John.
Good afternoon. I have a couple of things to report on. We do not have a full-time mechanic at this time. My understanding is he's going to continue to work part-time. I've spoken with several mechanic shops, putting the word out there, we're looking for a good mechanic, because the good mechanics are hard to find. So we're treating it just as though he was on vacation. So we're doing what we need to do to keep things running. This changing subject to the street sweeper is finally up. He operated it today, didn't have any problems. It had gone down, it got back up, sat for a couple of weeks because there wasn't an operator. Then all of a sudden, the mayor got it, and the brooms went crazy. So we had to get the distributor in to work on it.
I'm happy to announce I'm no longer the street sweeper operator.
We can follow your path.
The other thing is mosquitoes. Let's talk about mosquitoes. Today, I had the man that calibrates my machines come out. They're ready to go. Everything is great. I filled them up last Friday. And as of right now, depending on the rain we get Thursday and Friday and what happens at the very beginning of the week, I plan to go spot spray a couple of nights next week. In the following week, we will be spraying the city once a week until they get really bad, and we need to spray it twice a week. But everything is good, and we're ready to go. Any questions?
If there's no more questions, thank you, Albert.
Well, thank you.
Next, we have City Engineer Ken Leader.
Thank you, Jeff. I have no action items. I think you've all been issued by email a copy of my report with all the updates. Unless you have any questions on anything now, or if you want to call me between now and next Tuesday, feel free. Nothing to ask you to take any action.
Any questions for Tim? If not, we will move on. And Street Commissioner Wesley Jacob.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
Tired. This month, the month of April, we've had 74 work orders completed. Grass is full in effect. We've cut 52 trees in a month, and it's only getting worse. 2,000 foot of covers cleaned, 1,400 feet of ditches dug. We did 8 catch basins and a bulkhead out on Forest, so it'd be 9 total. 8 catch basins this month, so we doubled it from the previous months. 0 accidents, engineer's notes. Only thing Mr. Chairman and I is working on right now is the drainage on Cherokee. contest was a couple months ago. I didn't report on it, but we won a Clean the City contest for the district. And then the state, I just got word that we placed third, which is very disappointing. Since y'all won it we won it last year, but things happened, we got equipment broke, but the effort was definitely there. Needs are still the same equipment. Like Albert says, we have things that's breaking left and right. And unfortunately, we have a mayor that likes to jump on the equipment. And the tractor went down not once, not twice, but 3 times in a week.
All with him?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I got on the interstate and started cutting grass. Then I parked the tractor and the bush hog. That was a Friday afternoon. Saturday morning, I went to get back on it and it was leaking oil. So I couldn't use it again. The street sweeper, I mean, it just.
Strike 3 and you're out.
Oh, no, we don't want to get rid of them. I actually love them right now. Problem areas are still the same with shingles. We'll address it one day. We've been going out. I've been noticing they've been trying to keep the leaves and stuff off the brakes. Like they said earlier, we have Chris on the street sweeper. Just today, he's something clogged up rain. As he's sweeping, he's letting us know where they're clogged up. Mr. Core called me one morning, hey, I got one over here. So as y'all see things, don't be afraid to call and say, where's that? We try to get it up. And again, I guess I'll do it every other meeting. I think Tim at wastewater, they help us out tremendously. Our estimators in the shop right now, they let us use theirs. The skidder's not here yet. We're making progress. We have equipment that's broke. Y'all already know me. I'm not scared to ask you anything, so thank y'all again. We have an additional problem area we just found last week on 7th Street and Ross Avenue. The culverts under the road is completely clogged, and I can't even get the vessel through it. We're gonna have to try to figure out something different. I'll report on it later, but it's a mess. It's creating a dam, and the water from Hutchinson can't come down to the canal. So we're gonna have to address it. So right now, the water's just filling up, it's going over the road. So that's gonna be something I'll learn. Other than that, that's my report. Do you have any questions?
Yes, sir, I have a couple of items that we've talked, and first of all, I want to thank you so much for the great work that you're doing. I know sometimes it's problematic, and I know how quickly you all are addressing that. I have 2 areas in Ward 2, Avenue G, we talked about that, the city engineer, we've all been out there. And I got a call from the Mullins, this is Avenue G in Hutchinson, and she said the temporary solution was not working. And so I went out, and I know you're aware of it, Tim's aware of it, and it was like, the question was, do we have a more promising solution anywhere in the near future? The water is still backed up over the drive. It's not going anywhere from what I saw today.
Can I answer that question
Yes.
first?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Mayor, and the mayor has eloquent words, and he can explain it better than I have, but the definition of not working is different from the expectation, because it is actually working better than it was.
I promised to ask the
If I'm not
question.
mistaken, Mr. Mayor has somebody going out there checking on it every, 24 hours, they're giving you a report. It's not perfect, but.
Well, I noticed it was really great for a long time, and then after last night, it just
Oh, well, how many inches we got in a matter of an hour or so?
1.35.
The solution, the only other solution is gonna cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
From when I talked to Christie early on, how can I justify spending that much money on
Absolutely.
one person? So we're gonna try something different.
Okay.
We're not giving up.
Okay, and I'll get with y'all later and,
Is that satisfactory?
unless.
Yeah, I would just like to kind of add to Wes's definition of expectations. What we did was we looked at areas where ponding in the gutter would last for 6, 7, 8 days until the next rain. So it would never go away because it rains every week after we got past the solution we're trying is it's called a dry well. If water will disperse, percolate in the dry well within 2 or 3 days, that's success, because it's cutting more than half the time it took. You have some days, at least, where you don't have water in the gutter, and you don't have water standing in the street that can destabilize your basement. So it's not like a subsurface drainage system. It was never intended to be, but it does cut down remarkably on the amount of time water stands on the road. Water is probably still going to be in the gutter beyond 2 or 3 days, but it's all sitting on concrete, and it's a minimal amount. So I think the success is there on that particular block between G and H on Hutchinson. Within 24 hours, I was seeing water confined through the rain last night. So you probably saw water not confined through the gutter today. I would bet that unless a gremlin jumped into the dry well, that tomorrow,
It'll be gone. I know originally when we first inspected it, the dry well was really clogged up. It had like 6 inches, 8 inches. Then it needed to go down 8 feet, and we did that. I say y'all did it, and I know y'all did that. Did it just have one dry well?
there's 2 on.
There's 2, and they've both been ringed and
They're
opened back
10
up.
feet deep now.
Okay.
8 inches instead of 6 inches.
Okay, I need to do that. Okay, well, we'll see what the next step is on that.
I think Wes mentioned leaves.
Okay,
Leaves are gonna clog this just as bad as they clog a full-fledged storm drainage system. Because leaves sitting on top of the dry well, it's gonna hold water. So this doesn't change anything in regard to how a typical subsurface drainage system, curb and gutter system works.
all right, but that's
That's
good. We'll keep working on it. That's our best practice. The second thing was on Avenue K between 8th and 9th. You talked about it before. The culverts are collapsing in front of the homeowner's house, and it's really owned, it's a rental. And it goes down, and all the water that's not drainage in the culverts, because they're broken, and the catch basin is all broken up. Remember we couldn't determine which way it was going, but it is backing up and going under that. So they have to use a sump pump and the house is kind of, the foundation is sinking the pillars. So what's our direction on that?
All right, we got the same answer as I gave last time. It's a matter of trying to find out what the problem is, where it's back up in the system, and money. If the culvert is collapsing the driveway, I mean, it's the city's responsibility to keep the drainage, but not the whole yard. They got some of them drains that's 20, 30 feet long, and goes subsurface. The city's not responsible for that. So if I in turn go pull it up and leave an open ditch, then they're gonna complain about that. So we have to have a solution or a plan of attack in place. I can go clean that one block, I can go dig those ditches, but if the downside of it is clogged up, it's not gonna do it.
Both north and south. In other words, has there ever been a gradient as to which way it's supposed to flow? It's between
In
8 and
1969
9 Avenue K.
in
by the Memphis.
1989. All right, it goes back to 1989, which the last time it was updated. The drainage hadn't been a priority for the city of Crowley in 20 years.
So they have those clay pipes.
We got all kinds of stuff. So just think about this. It hadn't been addressed in 20 years. Then I'm 4 months in, and I'll give you thousands of feet of clearance, but I got thousands of miles to go, so it's gonna take me a while.
Okay.
I promise you it's on my list, and I'm trying to get to it, I'm going for.
And that's satisfactory, as long as they're on the grid to be some sort of solution, that we're not, negating them from having a solution on that. Thank you, that's great.
Anything else for Wesley?
Hey, Broad Acres drained great. So whatever y'all done there, after the rain, I watched it, so if they complained, it wasn't true. I went out to make sure the water was gone, and it didn't take but an hour, and it looked like it moved pretty well.
Speaking of Broad Acres, I was out there today with the gentleman that owns the property on the corner, that White House, Vicksburg. Mr. Braddock, He's actually, we had plans, the mayor told me to make sure under the culvert, under the roads here, you gotta check that. But we already had plans to dig that ditch to help some of that, because that ditch is bad, it is gonna help. But the owner is about to install culverts along that way, so it's only gonna get better.
Is that it? Thank you, Wesley. We appreciate it.
Y'all welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
everyone.
All right, I don't see any other things on the agenda, so I will close.
Thank you, sir. Let's see, Utility Committee, Alderman Martin, please, sir.
Thank you. Okay, Utility Committee. We do have a quorum. First up is Sam Creighton, wastewater superintendent.
Good afternoon. Before we start, Wes, if we loan you the equipment, I'll let them know.
That was good.
Sorry about that. For the, last month, we had 191, Louisiana one call locate requests. There were 20 work orders called. Last month, I reported the Hockaday pump station elbows down at the bottom of the wet well. They were replaced, changed out, the station was put back online that same day. They actually wore out, they've probably been there since the station was put in. That's the best we can determine. Magnolia pump station last night, we had a 75 horse pump go down. Didn't create any issues that were reported to us. We pulled it today. We're still analyzing it. We think that pump is burned. We will look at that tomorrow and start requesting pricing if we have to change it out. Ballpark figure 35, 36. Bayou Bend, at the Big Golf pump station, we had a PLC with the weather last night, blew the box open. The electronics and water don't mix. We had power, as of today, we still had power through the system. It didn't cause any issues. We seem to think that the PLC, which controls the pump system, may have shorted out. It is running on local, which operates on the floats that are in the wet well. Today, everything's running. We are looking at reprogramming one which I have already installed to replace. Miller Stadium, we received a backup call Friday or Saturday night a couple of weeks ago. We've been looking at it since. So we're the new restroom facility tied into existing sewer. We're still on a goose chase right now. We're dealing with 1948 plumbing pipe that are in the ground. It makes some turns that shouldn't be to us. We've seen it go in a complete U-turn, back one way and then U-turn the other. There are lines in the ground that we don't know where they go.
Clay pipe, it's clay.
There is some clay, but there's also some newer PVC. That line, Supreme Rice Mill office has a main line that the first base dugout ties into. That line is old. That was proven today. The concession stand actually flows into a line that they tied the restroom facility in. It's still exposed, everything's exposed. We're gonna get a different game plan in the morning. We ran the guzzler truck, we've run cameras, we've tied them push tapes, done locates, that led us in a different direction. We had a guy come in and jet with a smaller jetter to really open it up. He did a locate, we thought, when we met, didn't seem 100% correct, because it made a U-turn. We excavated today and it makes a U-turn. The connections are a little different than what we would look at. But it does make a U-turn and come back. But we're still looking at that to see where it actually ties in. We'll analyze that tomorrow. Other than that, I thank my guys that are out in the field. I will ask you to keep one of our guys in keeping your prayers on family medical leave right now. Doing good, but just keeping me in thoughts and prayers. Other than that, that's all I have.
Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tim.
Tim Mayor.
Thanks, Steph. The utility committee agenda has some action items, and they're covered in my engineer's report, beginning on page 12. The first item is concerning the new ultraviolet disinfection system project. The contractor is Volute Incorporated. The top of page 13, and give you the status report as of April 30th. Contract was 67% complete by time, 76% complete by cost. And I have partial payment estimate number 2 with the total value of work completed at $1,050,083.84. That's 1,050,083.84. The amount is $52,504.19 withheld for labor, material, and retainage. So the total amount due for estimate number 2 is $262,754.80. 262,754.80. Would ask you to consider approving partial payment estimate number 2 in that amount.
Second.
It was offered by Mark, second by Jeff, that we approve partial payment number 2 to, was that Volute for the new ultraviolet disinfectant system at the wastewater treatment facility. An amount of $262,754.80. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The next item that requires some action is on page 14 of my report. This is concerning the LCDBG fiscal year 2020-2021 project, which is the rehabilitation of the sewage collection system project. The update and the action is described at the top of page 15. Contractor has not requested a partial payment, so what you see in the beginning of the update, as of February 25th, that's all information that was reported to you previously. The contractor had finished up, say, a wave of smoke testing and repair work and mobilized out. He was going to come back and finish up the repairs on private property that's eligible under this program. We found that we were underrunning the contract and the grant quite a bit, so we asked the contractor to come back. It had been almost a year since he had done his first smoke testing and repair. We asked him to come back and re-smoke certain areas, and sure enough, we found more leaks as you would expect. And those repairs, some of them are done. What's left to do now to finish the project is a handful, I guess 7 or 8 private plumbing repairs to do, which is a little bit disappointing. We had something like 25 or 30 people that, if they would have applied for this work on their property, they would have been able to see that work done, but we only had that 7 or 8 number of property owners actually asked for this work to be done on their property. So the private work is left, and there's probably about another 20 or 25 repairs that need to be done on public property. Contractor has asked us to approve his cost to remobilize. Since he left town and then came back to smoke test, it was a remobilization. It will be demobilization again. We cleared that with the block grant office, and so he's asking for approval of a change order to increase his contract time in the amount of 207 calendar days, and that includes a lot of time that he left and waited for us to mobilize him again, come back and re-smoke test. The amount of the increase for mobilization and demobilization is $7,277.97. So change of number 3 would be approving that amount, $7,277.97, and increasing his contract time by 207 days.
So moved. Second.
Offered by Ms. Parks, second by Jeff, that, yeah, I wouldn't do this. To approve the cost of $7,277.97 for mobilization and demobilization, and adding another 270 days to
207.
207, sorry, 207 days to, was that contract time?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
They also have items that assume that the contractor can come in and finish the work prior to next Tuesday night. That's not a good bet, but it's possible. So assuming that that may happen, I would like to bring to council next Tuesday the resolution of termination, a change order number 4, which is the final change order that adjusts original contract quantities to final contract quantities, and also a partial payment estimate number 17 in an amount that would have to be determined if he comes back and finishes the work. So that's the 2, 3, and 4 action items under this project. So first of all, if you would approve the adoption of a resolution of termination at your meeting next week.
So moved.
Okay, offered by Ms. Marks, second Jeff, that we approve the termination, resolution of termination for same thing,
Yes, sir.
same person,
Same contractor, same project.
same contract, same project.
A while back, and correct me if I'm wrong,
It was the question of when you do these tests, these smoke tests, if the ground is wet, you might not get the true results as you would if it's dry, because the ground shrinks, and then that's when you can see the difference. Is that true, and are they considering that?
Yeah, we considered it because of extensive drought for a year for the most part. That phenomenon hasn't been a factor. For the most part, what we see when contractors in an area that's going to be smoke tested is that the sewer system itself is not surcharged, it's flowing half full or less. And then you just kind of have to look at the area in, are your ditches holding water? Is it apparent that groundwater could trap the smoke in the system and not be revealed to the surface? So that is taken under consideration.
Well, I'm asking because, and it's not a new thing, for the last 2 or 3 years, you know, around where I live, not far from where you used to live, it's like, we don't have to have a rain like last night. It can be just a constant little rain, not that bad. You can't wash anything, you can't take a shower because you're going to hear it. It starts to gurgle, and then that's it. It's backing up. And Tim's come out and he's run something, a fish down there, whatever you call it. And it's not on the side of my house, but it's like, it seems like maybe it's overwhelmed with water, you know, like it's getting in somewhere. And that's what I was wondering. There's other places, because I watch the work cars coming in and haul along, and then you're going to spot them. And these people are having the same problem I have. But it's like, I guess it's to be expected, you know, if there's no way to solve this issue. But I'm wondering if there's any way to really solve this issue. Because I've been there for 48 years, and it wasn't like this. It's like something's changed, you know.
The drought also caused the stress on the pipe itself, and sewer lines were breaking apart, the joints were being disjointed. That allows rainwater to get in quickly. I know you're wondering, well then, if we're smoke testing, should that have revealed it?
Sure.
Yes, it should have.
maybe, maybe not, we don't know.
Well, if the sewer system is kind of operating like a sieve, there's almost no other way to solve it than to line it, which is called trenchless technology, or to remove and replace it.
And you see that undoubtedly, that is something on the citizen side, because they came down there, well, that's back when Isabel was first in office, and I told you how neat it was, that they had that huge roll of pipe that was folded into a U, and they ran it down there, and they blew it up with steam, and then they routed out where it went into your different houses, and we never had a problem after that. I watched them doing it, and it worked very well.
Yeah, the citywide, in a perfect world, you change out all your old clay lines, you make sure your manholes don't have leakage, it's old brick manholes as opposed to reinforced concrete pipe, 48-inch pipe that's sitting on its side. But with 80 miles of sewage, you can't do it. I don't have an answer for why smoke wouldn't have been revealed and then we never fix it. I can tell you we're gonna probably not spend somewhere around $200,000 or $300,000 in grant money because we've done all the smoke testing and repairs that we could find.
Okay.
Thank you. Keep in mind too that smoke testing and repair, as soon as you repair something here, somewhere a little up or down the line, it breaks again.
Can we blame that on the air?
I think so.
I have not operated sewer lines across the city yet. I've operated some of them, but
Not that way.
I did operate some in your neighborhood for a few years.
Yes, you did.
Because I lived there.
We still have that problem.
So the resolution termination has been approved, then I would need you to approve change order number 4, which will be the final change order that, value of that change order will be in front of you before your meeting next Tuesday, if the contractor comes back and can do the work. So change order number 4, please.
Okay, you just need to approve.
Okay, let me ask a question on that. The cost was to be determined by, is that what we're still talking about?
Yes, it's a unit price contract, so we actually determine to the penny what we owe the contractor after he does the work, and we know.
And it's a set figure already per unit?
Yes, the unit price is set, but the quantities are not until we finish.
That's the unknown factor, and we'll know that next week.
If he comes back, if he's now next Tuesday, not seeming too likely since we got rain forecast
Okay.
Thursday, Friday.
All right.
If we can't do it by next Tuesday, then we're gonna come to you for a special meeting so we can close this contract out in time to have the 45-day legal period expire so we can close the contract and be eligible for the grants that we apply.
Okay, that's it.
Steph, if you don't mind. Just a little added information. This is essentially what we did with the street overlay project. There's other, this is a LCDBG grant funding, and we can't get other LCDBG grant funding with this open. And so in preparation to move forward with another program, one in particular, the blighted property stuff that we're trying to get through. Tim's trying to move this forward as quickly as possible to close it out. So that's why he's offering this to be determined in hopes that, as he says, likely not, that by next Tuesday's meeting, it will be completed and he will have some numbers for you to actually vote on so that we can move this forward, close it out as quickly as possible to move into the next project. In the event that doesn't happen by next Tuesday, as he mentioned, we will then likely, when they're finished, we will likely call for a special meeting so that we can make that decision and start that 45-day process.
Okay.
So that we can close this out as soon as possible.
Okay,
That's what
great,
we're
thanks
trying
for
to do.
that clarity, and I knew we had to get that behind us to get to the next grant. So I move to accept
Yes.
that. Make a motion.
Okay, got offered by Mr. Morris, second by Jeff, but, Tim, so this is like a precautionary thing that you're doing, correct?
I'm lining this up so that action could be taken Tuesday night,
If it's done.
if he comes in and does enough work to do that, to present final numbers to you.
So that positions us in a mandate to be able to get this next grant moving forward?
Yes.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah, I just want to be on the same page with this, so basically we won't be out of line by doing this, premature?
No, I'll just tell you on Tuesday night that,
Well, he does it or not? Okay, that's fine. I got you now, I see where you're at. Okay, I'm just wondering, because it sounded at first that, let's get this out of the way, just to move on to another one, but I got you now. So everything is based on the guy finishing the work? Got you. Okay, Alfred, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
and then last would be partial payment number 17 to that firm for this project.
So who?
No numbers?
No, that's the one we need to be determined.
Oh, okay, the same thing, okay. All right, was offered. Same two, Mr. Morris and, Jeff.
We have the same color hair.
Okay, that's all right. Raise your hand up most of the time, okay? And you know I'll be writing while I'm reading, so. Okay, to approve partial payment estimate number 17, to be determined. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That concludes my action items. Thank you very much.
Okay, no discussion items, we recess.
Thank you, sir. Recreation, Alderman Ashby, please.
Recreation Committee, come to order. We have a forum here. First up, we will have our new director, Mr. Zach Dino, come on up. And welcome aboard.
Yes, sir, thank you. Hey, so my name is Zach Duyon. I was just recently appointed to the position of Director of Parks and Recreation. I do want to start by saying how thrilled I am for the opportunity to work with all of you, to work with the city of Crowley, to keep moving forward. And I know, believe me, I've been told multiple times that I have big shoes to fill. Pretty much every person that I've spoken with has made the point to tell me that. But I am excited for the challenge. And I look forward again to working with every one of you, working with the citizens of this community, which my wife has been a lifelong member, lifelong citizen of the city of Crowley, and I've been here for 7 years. Our son's going to be 5 tomorrow, and we have immense pride in this community, and I look forward to putting that forth in the work that I do. A couple of things to address. Our adult basketball league has begun for an extended period of time. Last week, a week ago today, actually, we installed a new stovetop at Martin Luther King Center as well. And then our last recreation baseball and softball Pinto games are tonight. Actually, they're starting here in a minute. And then after the games are concluded tonight, tomorrow and Thursday, we'll be selecting our all-star teams. Our coaches will have meetings and start selecting those teams. And then at the dates, it's the 16th and 17th, that we will be hosting the Tony Robichaux Sports Complex will be hosting the All-Star warm-up tournaments for softball and baseball. So, it's been really great seeing so many people come out to the park the last couple of weekends, and I know that obviously more than the last couple of weekends, but since I've had the pleasure of being out there, and our last tournaments that we're going to have on the weekend will be the last weekend of July. So we still have a lot going on every weekend, whether it's the All-Star tournament's coming up, or it's FAST, our Fast Pitch Softball Association, or 2D that we've been working with as well. So it's been great seeing so many people out in parks, having all 9 fields utilized. Very excited to get started, and got any questions?
Do I have one?
Sure.
I noticed that on the flagpole, I saw the flag, actually the rope's not even there, so.
Yes, sir.
Something has to be taken care of.
Yes, sir. So we are in the process. Either tomorrow or Thursday, we're going to have the new flag. Of course, at half mast. I received an email today as well. But we received a new flag, and then the rope came in. Actually, has a steel cable in the middle, make sure to reinforce it. That came in last Thursday. So we are in the process of getting that actually put up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is that the end of July will end our all-star, the city recreation teams and all that? We're still having travel ball after that, or is that done?
That will be the last weekend for the travel ball tournaments as well. The first weekend of August, I'll actually sit down and have a meeting with our head coaches moving forward of Crowley High, Notre Dame, Northside Christian, and then of course John Melvin, as well as these travel ball teams that we've been hosting over the last couple of years. And we'll put a schedule moving forward after the first weekend of August. We're going to have that meeting. And so we'll start having teams come in as early as February, tournaments and practices starting in January.
Just want to make sure
Yes,
we
ma'am.
continue with that.
Oh, sure. Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and FYI, that's customary, over the past 5 years that we've been having those tournaments, with the travel ball, is the August meeting. And Zach has the pleasure of his first meeting with these guys, and Peter has offered to be there to help him with that stuff, so that, if he has any questions or concerns with it. But that's how it's been the past, since the turf year.
Any other questions? Thank you, Zach. And the next person that tell you have big shoes to fill, just tell him Peter has a wife. Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zach.
All right, next up, since he's walking out, I guess Tim Nader has nothing to say.
I'm here to say that I have nothing to say.
Thank you, Tim. That's it for the Recreation Committee, and we'll recess.
Tim, if you don't mind, before you leave, look at that plan that he's got sitting next to him. Oh, okay, all right.
That's what I'm going to do. Look at it.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's see. Two zoning annexation, all right. Public safety, Alderman Core, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I call to order the Public Safety Committee. We have a quorum present, and all members are here. We begin with reports. Chief of Police Troy is there, and I think everyone has a handout from Chief.
In the month of April, the officers answered 799 calls. As it warms up, you can see those call volumes rise a little bit. In the traffic enforcement detail, they issued 899 citations. Other traffic was 86, and our total criminal arrest was 27, bringing a total to 1,012 for the month.
Chief?
Also, we met this week with the insurance. I don't know if y'all want to bring it up for insurance or not, but we did, the police department did sit down and meet with the insurance company that's overlooking the policies for the city. They were very impressed with the PD. They told us that, and I commend my guys for that, our lawsuits have been really down. And they made a note about that they were highly impressed with the PD over the past year because the lawsuits have dropped tremendously.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, that's excellent news for the city and the citizens who have to bear that cost. Any other questions for Chief? Okay, we'll move on to the Fire Chief, Mr. Bruce Bellow.
Well, good afternoon. I give everybody a packet. Last month we ran 46 calls, of which 4 of them was hazardous conditions, 26 was rescuing EMS, 2 false alarms. That went down big time last month. The fires went up. We had 4 good 18 calls and surface calls each at 5, with average response time of 2 minutes and 46 seconds. I think I sent everybody an email. Friday night is our annual firefighters appreciation crawfish ball. I sent an email to all the council members and the mayor, you and your spouse, significant others. We would love for y'all to come hang out with us a little while, eat some crawfish. I talked to the mayor. I don't know exactly what's going on right now. The tower truck, the ladder will not retract in. We brought it to Bonaventure. Bonaventure has their senior engineer working to see what's wrong. They think it is the valve body, and they don't make that valve body for that truck no more, so they're gonna have to hand make a valve body, and it's anywhere from $25,000 to $30,000. But I said, I don't wanna spend $25,000, $30,000, and that don't fix the problem. So if y'all tell me that's the problem, we're gonna fix it, but it's not, we're not gonna start changing parts just to change parts, you know? So that's why they got the senior engineer working on it, and they still ain't got back with me. So, any questions? I'm still working on getting estimates for North Crowley and South Crowley to start renovations on that building. Sunday and last night, we're gonna have to do something with Central, because it rained in the building like a lot. Upstairs in the rec room, downstairs in the foyer. It rained a lot. And I know we had a lot of rain, but Sunday and last night it rained a lot.
Chief, was it coming through the roof or the wall?
It's coming through the wall. Like, in the foyer, the window pane,
Yes.
the window's dry, but the water's coming on the pane, on the bottom of the window, and it's just coming down the wall, and it's puddling on the floor. But water is at the top, but it's all dry at the top of the window. It's just at the base of the window. In the rec room, they had water coming from behind the lockers. There's no window there. There's no window.
Is there a break?
Yeah.
Sediment, seepage,
Yeah.
Old water.
water seepage.
Yeah, that building, along with City Hall, both need to be, waterproof, they need to be sealed. Both of those brick buildings, I mean, City Hall was renovated 25 years ago. The fire station, I don't remember how long ago was that paint job on it? That's not a sealant, that was just a paint job.
They put paint as a sealant.
That was just a paint job.
In fact, if you look closely, you can still see the color in the cracks of the original.
Of the original brick, yeah.
And that's not sealing though.
Do you have bubbling in the paint?
Oh, yeah, we,
And that's
the new, the remodeling of the station was maybe a year and a half ago, or 2 years.
2 years.
And we got holes in the wall. That the plaster just keeps falling off. You know?
It needs to be sealed. And then he's also working on getting some prices on sealing that building.
So
That's a slow process.
I've been for the last 8 months trying to get prices to remodel North Crowley and South Crowley and add on. And it's slow, you know? But, South Crowley has been, all the electrical has been upgraded. the entire building, the entire service. So, we're gonna be able to move on South Crowley quicker than we're gonna be able to move on North Crowley.
Yeah, North Carolina's gonna take some more structural work. On a much better note, I wanna, thank the chief and his men and women. Last night, he had a shift with 2 of his women on, so his men and women at that department. Oftentimes, we have trees that fall through the city, and, listen, Weston has given me a run for my money here. I'm not the first to show up on scene anymore when it comes to a downed tree or power lines. Usually I'm behind Wesley, but the fire department is normally called out to help. They bring multiple chainsaws and firefighters out there. They'll cut the trees up, and then Wesley and his employees will get out there with the machinery and move it around. And we had a couple of those incidents last night, yesterday evening, that they dealt with. So each time the weather comes through like that, a lot of those trees, a lot of those water oaks, they don't stand a chance in the wind anymore. They're in bad shape.
It's been a clear day too, man.
Well, it'll be a clear day too. And then half of the west side of Parkinson is out of electricity because a tree fell. After the weather was gone, the next day, nice sunshine, and the tree fell. So, but anyway, I want to thank them for doing it, and I know Wesley appreciates them too, helping with all that.
I'd just like to, again, thank you. I have a question about the ladder that won't retract. Is this Bonaventure by Hammond or in Rain?
Bonaventure's in Rain Forever, which is now the rep group, is in Holden, so about on the side of that.
Okay, can a second opinion be gotten or
Well, the problem
a different
is,
price?
the problem is, it's a Rosenbauer truck, so we going with
The manufacturer.
the manufacturer.
No, it's no longer a warranty. This truck is
20 years old.
20 years old.
Okay, so,
So if I would go to Forever, we would have to bring the truck to Forever, and their engine, I don't think their engineers are gonna be able to.
yeah, I know we talked
Pinpoint
about
the
something
issue.
similar about this before. So things get changed out, it's still gonna work, but you pay the $30,000.
Exactly.
Bonaventure is actually the distributor of that truck, so
Yeah, that's the Grange.
him dealing with Bonaventure, he's dealing with basically the manufacturer of that truck. That truck is 20 years old, but a new one like that is over $1.5 million, so we, higher, $2 million.
$2 million today.
And there's a 2-year delivery, 5-year delivery. So if you order one of those today, it takes 5 years for it to come in, and you'll pay $2 million for it.
So you won't be driving
No. I drove it plenty enough. I won't be driving that one.
That's why
You started Wesley.
That's why it's broken.
See what you started. Where you going?
Any more questions?
Yeah,
We hope.
I got it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, you're trying to weigh $35,000 compared to $2 million, right? Whether to go ahead and spend the money. I would think somewhere down the line, you have to end spending money. You can get me? Is it up? I think it's time, that we look into, well, I've been trying to say this for the longest, and y'all know what I'm saying. It's time we turn that damn fire station into a museum and build a new. Okay? It is what it is. Because now we're dealing, I'm pretty sure the whole multiplication in that building is starting to be out of weight. Got you. You said, I was just thinking, I remember we had done a building where the water was coming through and was cylinder blocks and just basically followed the groove of the blocks and this happened. especially with the point when you said there was no windows. It's a lot of pressure on those bricks, and when that water hit, it expands.
Well, the people that I've talked to, the building needs to have a lot of stitching.
Well, that's
Okay.
all it's thinking.
And, again, I don't know the proper terminology. The metal plates above the windows and below the windows are gonna have to be removed because they starting to rust through. I remember 47, 48, you know? And then we've got some of the bricks that's missing in the top corners. So that's gonna have to be fixed. So whenever we do get a price, it's gonna be a pretty penny.
We're gonna get a bunch of small hammers
You know?
and eliminate the danger of it. But anyway, I was spending 35 to see if we can get it fixed. That's my opinion. Just one more time.
Hope to see y'all Friday, if y'all can make it. Thank you.
Make a change anybody.
Thank you, Chief.
Next we'll move to City Inspector Tony Duhon, and I don't think he is here.
No, he is, I called him today. for
Oh, he's
something.
ill.
He is, yeah,
And consequently.
and he didn't get to have a report.
All right. Then we move on to action items. The first action item is an amendment to section 14(2)C of the ordinance to remove the save and accept portion of the ordinance, which currently allows the driver of the tractor portion of an 18-wheeler to be parked at their official residence. As we all know, there are 18-wheeler tractors parked in residential areas. Throughout town, it seems to be a growing problem. There are heavy vehicles damaging our streets. They're parked in residential areas where they're either coming in late at night, early in the morning, loud engines, idling to build up air pressure. And I'd like to see that we eliminate that save and accept portion of the ordinance, just to prohibit 18-wheeler tractors from parking in residential areas. And I so move for consideration by the full council and approval. And do I have a second?
I second
Second by Wildridge. Discussion?
Yes, I have a question on that because this last couple of weeks, we've been, just as an add-on to the 18-wheeler issue, we've had, and I spoke with the chief about it, we've had 18-wheelers on Highway 90 turning left at the light on Avenue H and then back onto Hutchinson and then onto G, trying to, I think, shortcut toward to the I-10. And it's not the Coca-Cola truck going to Cusio's. It's big, full-loaded 18-wheelers. And right in that hot area, I'm getting calls from the residents because it's gonna break up our asphalt. It's gonna go overlay. Especially this summer, if they keep doing, I don't know why they're doing it, but we need to have it on the list to address, since there's an 18-wheeler coming through the historic district on its way to I-10. That's all I can say, and I've taken pictures of them coming, I've been sent pictures of them coming, so I'd like to put that in the mix for consideration.
We have a motion and a second on the floor, and Alderman Marks, we certainly would consider that, but I don't think that would be tied to the 14C, 14(2)C of the ordinance. But we'll definitely take it up for consideration separately. Sam?
I got a quick question. So like, one of my neighbors doesn't have an actual 18-wheeler at his house, but he has like I guess a rock truck. It's an 18-wheeler, it's front, the back of it is not a cab, it's got like something you put gravel and stuff.
Like a dump truck?
Like a dump truck. Would that fall into that, or like, what's the?
Is it a truck that hooks to that trailer, basically?
No, it's all one.
It's all one.
Like a tandem truck.
It's like a big dump truck, yeah, but I guess you wouldn't call that an 18-wheeler truck.
No, and that's a good question, because.
Probably would exceed the weight limit on the street to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there's anything in it when he comes to the house, but I can hear him when he's coming home.
And, right, and That's a good question. That's something we need to look at. Because, again, that's part of the point of this is when you drive that truck into the neighborhood, drive it home, most of the time, it's either early in the morning or late at night. The neighborhood is quiet. It's supposed to be a peaceful neighborhood. And so, you crank it in the morning or in the evening to leave for work. You let it idle over there to build up, and it's loud. They're loud trucks, but they're also heavier than passenger vehicles, and this particular ordinance specifies or says 18-wheelers. I don't know if that type of truck would be included in this, or if a different ordinance would cover that. It may be a different ordinance that covers that, yes, sir.
It's a tractor, just like the tractor they use on an 18-wheeler.
Basically.
If it goes by the weight load, that's the key to it, is it's just dump truck, 18-wheeler, it's still together.
It's 30 to 60,000 pounds loaded. A dump truck unloaded is about 15,000 pounds, 18,000 pounds.
So would you need to restate that as, instead of saying 18-wheeler to a certain weight limit?
Well, that's what I'm saying. This particular ordinance, 14.2C, specifically states and says what it says, 18-wheelers. I'm wondering if there's another ordinance that pertains to a dump truck type of truck, or a certain weight limit. That's something we'll have to study. Really and truly with 14.2C, all we're trying to do is take away the exception of the tractor portion being able to be taken to your home, and excluding that, including that as not being able to be taken to your home also. There's actually a truck and trailer, and there was a week and a half ago on East Cedar, near Oden, parked on the side of the road. The truck and the trailer. Now there's no load on it, but it's still in the neighborhood. I mean, it's, you had to get that trailer there. And so that's what this one is for. Let's look into other ordinances to make sure that those other trucks are not covered in that. Because this is, again, this 14.2C specifically says 18-wheelers. I think it does say something about our trucks. I don't remember the exact words, but.
Well, and then I guess if you say weight limit, then it's gonna impede on RVs, because you get one of those big monster RVs, they're super heavy too. It's almost like a tractor trailer.
It doesn't specify as a semi.
Yeah, but like the mayor said, this ordinance is specific.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
To the truck, so, yeah, right, but we could certainly look into other type of large vehicles, which may be under another title or another section of the ordinance.
Let me see something here.
Brett, I think we need to, like Jeff said, go with the weight. It's the only way you're gonna eliminate that.
And there may be another section of the ordinance that deals with the weight of vehicles,
Yes, so,
in fact, there's one that.
Trying to identify a vehicle, ain't gonna make it, gotta go with weight.
so the full 14.2C says parking 18-wheelers, it shall be unlawful to park vehicles commonly known or identified as 18-wheelers, whether it is the tractor portion, trailer portion, or both, on any street or other public places situated within the corporate limits of the city, or on any property not designated as a commercial or business parking area, providing for the parking of 18-wheelers, save and except that the driver of such vehicle shall be permitted to park the tractor portion only, meaning that the trailer portion has been completely disconnected at his official residence, provided it is situated completely upon the property occupied by his residence, and not on any property belonging to the city. Over 5,000 pounds, it should be unlawful for any person to drive or to permit the driving of any vehicle weighing more than 5,000 pounds on any street of the city, save and except that it shall be lawful for any such vehicle to travel on or over any such street in the event that there is no alternate route to and from any business establishment situated in the city, in which event such vehicle shall travel the most direct route to and from such business establishment as long as such vehicles are traveling. So 5,000 pounds is the limit. Yeah.
You can always exempt like motorhomes and stuff.
Yes,
like that.
yes. Current ordinance, it says that, so we're gonna weigh you in.
Well, wait a second. So I guess my other question would be is, so let's say we would pass something like this, can you guys just send a letter to the people that have them, or just write a ticket immediately? How would they know?
Well, you would probably give a delay, you would do a public notice in the paper and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I would expect some warnings to be given out, hey, look, you can't do this. Now, this has to go, this has to go to public hearing and all that. But I would expect, just like any other change in an ordinance like this, that, the police department would offer some warnings and say, look, here, you can't.
How do you fight the argument, though, that the motorhome's over 5,000 pounds?
What, you can exempt it in your ordinance, you can.
But you have to change the ordinance.
Oh.
Because right now, it's not exempted.
And how much is it weigh?
Wow.
What, a motorhome?
I mean, it's not like we know exactly what each vehicle weighs.
No, but a motorhome's gonna be close to 10,000 pounds.
Possibly. And, if y'all do pass an ordinance or whatever, I would exempt motorhomes. A lot of people in the city have invested in.
I think.
But it's gonna have to be changed, because if
Right.
you go to court with a ticket for having your semi parked, and he says, well, but you're allowing a motorhome to be parked.
Yeah, but this ordinance specifically says an 18-wheeler. Okay, and so the point of this is the noise and the late nights and early mornings and the idling, of complaints that we've gotten. Not so much as the weight limit, which is why this allowed just the tractor, not the trailer, because the weight would probably be closer to acceptable. But this particular ordinance, 14-2C, specifically states 18-wheelers. It doesn't talk about motorhomes, it doesn't talk, and it specifically says that you can't drive them on the city street. And it specifically says that you cannot bring the trailer to your house, but you can bring the tractor portion only if you can park it on your own property and not city right-of-way property. But it's specifically stating 18-wheelers. So
This neighbor would be fine with the dump truck.
as of now, it seems that way. Yeah.
As the ordinance is written, that's not pertaining to that type of vehicle.
Correct.
But you still have something else right there. It's not 18-wheeler to the applicant. I mean,
There's this god-awful word that's used entirely too much these days. It shall be unlawful to park vehicles commonly known or identified as 18-wheelers.
it's not 18-wheeler.
You ask a kid or a human being, what is that truck? Whether it's got a trailer on it or not, they're gonna tell you it's an 18-wheeler. So it identifies as an 18-wheeler, Mr. Parker.
It's a semi.
I do understand what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying, but that's all.
And Mayor, if I could offer maybe Mr. Landry, Mr. Reagan,
And
the wording,
I will bring this to them this week, that way next week it'll be prepared. This is basically to offer this change, and to be given to Mr. Landry so that he can.
They can always go to DMV and see what is it classified as.
Yeah.
And they have a, it's not, they don't call them 18-wheelers.
Right.
They call it something
Semi.
semi.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
That's at all, and if you converted it to a dump truck, that doesn't matter, it's still a semi.
Right,
It's in June.
okay.
Okay, we vote all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2, I would like to amend this slightly. This is regarding section 1444 of the ordinance to prohibit parking of motor vehicles in 20 feet of a residential driveway, as it indicates in the agenda on a specific location within the street. After discussing or corresponding with Mr. Reagan and the mayor, I'd like to amend this to where the ordinance will allow the chief of police and city inspector to have the authority to place no parking signs as may be needed in the cities, on city streets. And since the city attorney, for proper wording, to change or to clarify this ordinance. Basically, what we have constituents along East 7th Street. You have the old hospital and several doctor's offices around there, along with residences. And in the mornings or during the day, patients, whoever, employees of those businesses, are parking right up to the edge of someone's driveway on both sides. When the resident is trying to back out, they can't see oncoming traffic in either direction because of the proximity of the car right there at the edge of the driveway. And what the intent is to maybe have signs put up to where within 20 feet of the driveway, we give a line of sight of oncoming traffic. And that would be applicable during the weekdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and not at night or during the weekdays to assist those residents. And I'd like to move, to make that motion for consideration by the full council, and again, with input from the city attorney to get the proper wording.
So basically, just to have, what you're asking for is for me to bring this to the city attorneys to allow them to come up with the wording we need that would best fit this situation to help with parking issues in that.
Yes, in the city overall, because as Mr. Reagan indicated, if we were specific to one location, and every time to change the ordinance, another public hearing, and just a lot more expense and time, when possibly those could be brought before the council, and then the chief of police would have the authority to go out there, have public works put a sign.
Right, so basically, as he said, have an ordinance which would allow the chief of police and the city inspector to have the authority to place no parking signs as may be needed in the city on city streets. That would basically be the ordinance that we would come up with to allow them to do that without having to come to council and say, hey, we need an ordinance for this block of this road. Now we need an ordinance for this block of this road.
Right, because there's already been a location, so that would like to have the same.
Okay. So your motion would be to ask the city attorney to draft up an ordinance which would allow the chief of police and the city inspector to have the authority to place no parking signs as may be needed in the city on city streets.
Yes.
Basically. Thank you.
And that's my motion, and we have a second.
Well, I was gonna ask, if you put a sign, could you just paint the curb right there too, like where the sign starts, so they can see how far 20 feet is?
Well, yeah, the sign would be there, like we have around the city near intersections with the yellow. That certainly could be added to the curb.
Yeah,
Some people can't read
for that.
They can see the color.
But we have a lot of open ditch areas.
Right.
We don't
That's what I was gonna
have.
say. For that instance, it would work, and we could do that, definitely. That would help.
That's right, Sam.
Some people can't read.
No,
That's right.
The place still
All right, we have
assisted
a
living?
motion, a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Brad, that's still assisted living over there? And that-
No,
oh,
no.
What
We
is
have
it?
some dentist offices, some general practitioners
Oh,
in the area. And it's great for the neighborhood, just, the residents are there when they're trying to back out.
I got you, I hear you.
I think Chief, before we close, I think Chief Romero wants to bring something up.
I forgot one thing. Everybody knows this year we're going through a grading year. About 5-6 years ago, there was I think it was a resolution to give the jurisdiction having authority to let every officer in the fire department, just for the city, to be certified as Officer 1. So let me kind of explain what that is. Part of your rating, you'd have to send every officer, so my captains and my DCs, including myself, would have to get Officer 1. You'd have to go through an ADL course, you'd have to send everybody to Baton Rouge. Well, I found a loophole, I guess about 6-7 years ago.
You found another option.
Or an option. And it's the jurisdiction having authority. So we gotta test them, we gotta train them, we gotta test them, and then y'all can certify them. So we train them. If you take the captain's test, that's a state certified test, civil service test. You pass, you become an officer. That's the testing I use. And then the certificate is issued by y'all. And we just, all we gotta do is I'm asking for the ordinance to be re-adopted, I guess, so that it's adopted this year, so that I can recertify, because people left, people got promoted, and so I want to be able to have every officer, but we gotta re-adopt.
Does it need to be an ordinance or can it be a resolution? Find that out.
Well, whatever it is last time.
Well, but for PIL, because there's different names and everything, so that's why I'm asking if it's,
I don't know
if we can do a resolution, it's.
I don't know if it was a resolution last time. I don't think it was an ordinance.
It
I
was,
think it
I
was.
remember that.
I
And
think it
our
was a
jurisdictional was police jury.
So,
The police jury was, if I'm not mistaken, they were the overseers of that.
the jurisdiction having authority over the Crowley Fire Department is the city, is the governing body. I know that for a fact.
Look, do this.
No, that's
let's-
Homeland Security.
Let's do some research and see if it was a resolution or an ordinance.
How do I find that out?
You remember when it was done?
5-6 years ago.
If it was an ordinance, would it still be in effect?
Yeah, it was all.
Yes, and that's what Chantel was saying, but, again, there's different names, different individuals. And that's why I don't think if it was an ordinance, it probably should not have been an ordinance. I think a resolution would be more fitting for that. But we'll work on it, and we'll bring it to the council then. Yeah, the other option. Steve, that lingo is another option.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, but there's no way it could have been hard, it just would have been resisted.
Nothing to do with any of that, but it is about a sign. Ms. Joseph Miller, what do we have to decide with that? We would need to say exit or no exit or whatever.
Yes, so those signs are actually in. Thought about that the other day and forgot about it again. I'm gonna send a message to Wesley for them to go and install those signs. Those signs were ordered and they are in. We're going to.
The other day I turned on the morning, I thought we need one right there.
Yep, we're gonna add, that entire intersection is gonna have from all directions. Well, Sam made a good statement earlier about those signs.
All right. There's no other business to come before the Public Safety Committee. We're recessed.
Thank you, sir. Public buildings, Alderman Woodridge.
Public Business Committee meeting on May 13, 2024 at 5 p.m. Under action items, there was none. On discussion items, there was none. So the Public Business Committee convened. There was no public business coming before the public business, so we recess.
Thank you, sir. Insurance and personnel, Alderwoman Marks.
The community and oopsie business.
Moved over one. You done flipped the
I
page.
did, I'm sorry.
I'm ready to.
I'm speeding.
Move on.
Okay, Insurance and Personnel Committee, this day, Tuesday, May 14th, convenes. We have a quorum and we have a full committee in attendance. There are no reports or action items at this time. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? If not, the committee recesses.
Thank you, ma'am. Community Economic Development, Alderwoman Chasson.
Thank you. The Community and Economic Development Committee will come to order. We do have a quorum present. Under reports, I have a few things. From the City of Crowley Tourism Director, the second annual Red, Rice, and Blue Independence Day celebration will be held on Thursday, July 4th, beginning at 10 a.m. at the Rice Arena, featuring music by Adam Touchette, Adam Leger, and Wayne Tubes. There will be food trucks and food, and a fireworks show will begin at 9 p.m. You can watch the city's Facebook page for more information on that.
And we are still actively accepting contributions that you can donate to the Crowley Community Development Association, which is a 501c3, to sponsor that event.
Thank you for adding that. Crowley Main Street. The Art and Wine Stroll was very successful. Main Street staff and board members expressed their appreciation to Mayor Chad Monzo and council members for their continued support. From the Acadia Parish Chamber of Commerce, Leadership Excel 2024 class and alumni crawfish ball is tomorrow, May 15th, and the crawfish ball begins at 5 p.m. at the Wells Fargo building. Anyone that might be an alumni of that program, cost is $25 a person, and if you're wishing to attend, you should register with Elizabeth or Taylor at the Chamber office. On Thursday, May 23rd, they have two events. 8:30 a.m. at the Main Street patio is the Prosper Acadia Business Training Session. And Thursday, May 23rd, they didn't tell me what time, I'm assuming the evening, is the Young Professionals event, Acadia off the clock. And she didn't tell me where that was.
Patio.
At the Main Street patio as well. Okay, thanks. Crowley Garden Club, much appreciation goes to Mayor Chad Monzo, Valerie Myers, Street Commissioner Wesley Jacobs and his staff, the Crowley Garden Club, JMU students, and anyone else who helped with cleanup efforts in preparation for the Cleanest City contest. Crowley was again the district winner and placed third in state competition this year. Part of that was because the street sweeper was broken, so we'll make sure that next year everything's working order.
I'll stay on with it.
That's right, that's right. We participated in Keep Louisiana Beautiful's Love the Food Week and intend to continue working with that program. It was reported that Love the Food Week was bigger than ever thanks to the 19,441 people who dedicated 100,712 hours to cleaning up and beautifying Louisiana. A record 347 tons of litter were removed at 760 events in all 64 parishes. Diverted from the landfill and recycled were 7,044 aluminum cans, which is 293 pounds, 6,847 plastic bottles, 330 pounds. In addition to litter removal, volunteers focused on community beautification, planting 921 trees and 4,408 plants, and refurbishing 366 gardens. One of the things that we want to focus on in the coming year is education, starting with our school students and hoping that the amount of litter in our areas will decrease and that those volunteers can put their time to work doing something else.
And again, those numbers are statewide numbers.
Yes, I'm sorry, that is not Crowley numbers. West Crowley beautification, community cleanup continues along with planting flowers on West Hutchinson Avenue. And that is it for reports. There are no action items. Is there anything we should discuss?
Real quick, and I don't want to spoil anybody's fun, but a couple of things. Today at Rotary Club, it was mentioned that along with the fire department, they're going to extend the flags for holidays from the courthouse to the interstate. So each holiday, instead of just downtown, it will be the entire entrance to our city. Recently, Mr. Calvin Ardwan contacted me. Mr. Calvin is the amazing gentleman who puts on the Youth Summit each year. Does a fantastic job with that. But he contacted me and would like for his group to take on the task of doing the same thing for West Hutchinson. So I recently purchased the flagpole holders. There'll be one on each side of the light poles. Not every light pole. We've got 50 holders, which will do 25 poles. So during holidays, they'll do the same thing down in West Hutchinson on the light poles with flags on each side. So we're hopeful that all of this is going to take place before July 4th. And so July 4th will hopefully be the first holiday that will happen. And you'll see U.S. flags from the railroad tracks to the interstate and from the courthouse to west to the railroad tracks. So I think it will really be an amazing sight to see.
Mayor, how about on East Hutchinson?
We can work on that too.
Will we have flag sponsors?
There's not as many poles there, but we can work on it, yeah.
We have to find someone to dedicate it. Someone dedicated.
Chief.
Hey, Mayor, can the city, if Wesley and them help us
Install?
at least install the holders with the rings?
Yes.
And, we're about to start the big project of putting hydrant markers.
Yes.
All the cities.
Yeah, we've got to put them on West Hutchinson, so I'll have them put it on Hutchinson.
Give me the place you want.
We need to get together on that.
And at North Parkinson, what they're saying is every other pole.
Okay.
We talked about that, so it won't be every pole, it won't be obstruction,
Sure.
that sort of thing.
And so downtown, the flags are in the median. On North Parkinson, north of the courthouse, and West Hutchinson, obviously west of the courthouse, they will be on the light pole, but they will be where individuals can reach them to put them on in the morning and then take them off in the evening, just as they do downtown. So they won't have to have a truck to go and install them each and every time.
But it's not, yeah, you're right, that's all. So when you're heading north of the courthouse, the pole, every other pole, and then.
So there's not two per pole, it's one per pole, but opposite.
We can eventually try to get there.
Right. Okay.
But we're talking about $4,500.
Yeah.
Between the two organizations.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
You know, and that's the money we raised from the fire department, the money we raised from the
Christmas break, yeah.
So, Alderman Grant's question.
Yeah, Mayor, anything you share about a proposed dog park, anything moving?
So,
Consideration?
that is, I'll tell you that Derek he's actually in my office right now with Tori, who is helping him plan for that fundraiser. I asked him to hold off on announcing all that, but that's what he wants to do, so, they're doing the work for the fundraiser. Honestly, there's no actual plans for it at this point, as in, drawings, or we have gone and visited a couple. We've gone to Church Point, and Marcus Park, and I really believe that we can recreate Marcus Park. Derek's not the whole park, just the dog park portion of Marcus Park.
I wanted to see that.
That's not a loophole. But I really think that we can create Marcus Park's dog park. It's, and the location I'm thinking of currently would be the East 7th, 8th Street Park. That park is utilized, but it's not overly utilized like Levy Park. There's plenty of activity and things going on in Levy Park. We need to start spreading that stuff around, and utilize some of the other parks. And I think the East 7th and 8th Street Park is gonna be a great park to have that in. There's a lot of shade there. There's a lot of area for that. It's not gonna take up a whole lot of area, okay? And of course, we still need to do the studying and the work on rules and regulations and all of that good stuff. But that's something that Derek wanted to do early on. I'll tell you that I hear lots of excitement about a dog park. I've heard a lot of people ask for a dog park. We have, knocking on doors during the campaign. 99.9% of the homes had a dog. Some had 2 or 3. Some had 2 or 3 dogs, and a couple of cats walk up to the door. So everybody has pets, and we all love them. I think it'll be greatly used. And so we're in the planning stages. Any kind of opinions and ideas for it is great.
Mayor, I have a question. Will this increase the city's liability by adding the dog park?
I'm going to say yes, absolutely. I think anything we add adds liability. Honestly, when we put those lawnmowers on the medians, cutting that grass, we change windows all year long. We have our ballparks, we have our parks in general. If somebody walks out on that park and trips and falls and claims that the city's at fault.
So this covers dog bites, bites and everything?
Ms. Marks,
Yeah, we have to.
yes,
consider
we're gonna have to.
But
I mean, that's.
also, will we still be able to, I know there was talk of doing pickleball in the 8th Street Park and doing like pocket, areas and.
Sure.
Will we still be able to do that?
Yeah, the dog park wouldn't be on the concrete surfaces.
No.
So
but it
those
could
concrete
be-
surfaces would still be available.
Okay, so
Um,
large and small animals.
Correct.
And I guess, Mayor, the fundraiser, anything that we can do to promote, and benefit our animal shelter, to promote individuals, maybe, hey, maybe they want a dog and reduce the population there. Kind of tie into.
So I think there's some plans, with this fundraiser, with this event, to include, to maybe bring in some of the shelter animals, to kind of show them off and talk about the shelter and talk about adoption. Obviously, all of those things will take place within this event. And any extra monies that are raised for this event over and above what is needed for the construction of the dog park will go to animal control. Upgrade kennels, upgrade all kinds of things.
Adoption day.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Okay, is there any other discussion?
Yeah, I got something. Yeah, we're talking about dogs and all this stuff. when we gonna start looking for a splash pad for the kids?
Mr. Martin, if you would attend next week's meeting, I've got a proposal for you.
Well, I've been asking for the longest.
You ain't the only one.
I ain't got nothing against dogs, don't get me wrong. But our kids.
Yeah. And again, this fundraiser, is a private, basically a private, effort, that, obviously my partner that really wanted to make this happen. And he and I went to, a fur ball in Baton Rouge. His boss, the lady that owns the business he works for, invited us, and she actually won, or her dog won King that year, 2 years ago. She invited us back this year. The setup of the fundraiser is, specifically that, a fundraiser. And so the male dog that raises the most money wins King. The female dog that raises the most money is going to win Queen. It's kind of like Dancing with the Stars. And so this is what they chose to do a fundraiser for. This is what they wanted to do it for. And obviously, you know, it's something that a lot of our citizens have asked for. So obviously I'll support it, and I'm happy to do it. The splash pad, next week I'll have something proposed with the pavilion, what I'm calling the Urban Park and Pavilion, and hopefully that we can include that there.
Perfect.
And it's more, if you want to Google play fountain, there's no structures as in buckets or umbrellas shooting water. It's, if you've ever been to the Shaw Center in Baton Rouge, the fountain that shoots up out of the ground, a lot of times you'll see parents sitting on the benches and the kids are running through the fountain, playing in the water. But when it's not on, it's just a concrete slab. And so you can still utilize the space for other events and things when that water feature isn't needed or warranted.
Well, as long as we take care of the kids, man.
Yes, sir. So that's next week.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right. With that, the Community and Economic Development Committee will recess.
Thank you, ma'am. Revenue and Finance, Alderman Lachele.
Thank you, Mayor. The Revenue and Finance Committee convenes. We have a quorum present. We have no reports to be read. On the action items, we have two. Number one is to approve the attached revised capital budget policy.
Offer.
Someone, you want a second to review it, or everybody understands what's going on with it? In the past, the capital purchase amount was $1,500, which was kind of antiquated, so we decided to adjust that. So, okay, so we have a motion by Councilman Martin, second by Core. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Second action item, to approve the attached revised purchasing policy. Okay. Second. All right. Got a motion by Alderman Martin, second by Alderman Core. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed.
We'll be able to keep this before we bring it to the full council.
Right. As far as the next item is, as far as the next item, as far as discussion, the packet that was given to you, we're gonna give it to you early. It's for the 2024 amended budget. We won't act on that until sometime in July. And so it gives you time to review it and have any questions that you have. You can contact the city clerk, Chantel or myself, and we can go over that. But the cover sheet pretty well explains it, all the headings. It's just very close to getting through it. Okay. Is there any other business to come before the committee? Okay, no other business, the committee, convenes.
So you sure nobody wants to ask Chantel a question? She asked me if I wanted her here. I said, if you don't mind, I said, in case there's some questions, to help answer those questions. And so she sat here all that time. So thank you, Chantel. I appreciate you. Nothing else? Good. We'll see y'all next week. I'm
It's done.
Wow.
We're gonna have to keep that on state highways.
I got some big friends, if we get it, that's a.
Oh, yeah, 2 people, that's right. Wow. Yeah, you gotta keep that on state highways. Oh, new vehicle.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you have to rethink this. Cars way a lot more than you used to.
You gotta go all over. Up to 6 lawsuits. 18 wheeler when he has Crowley.
There is an 18